You didn't like the brunch? You chuckle.
No, I love brunch.
Brunch.
Go ahead. Why don't you start us off, man? You know you got something.
Oh yeah, for sure. Basically, when you look at the film, moving forward, what are some things that you really do like about the Rams' offense and defense that ways you have to attack them?
Yeah, I think offensively, when you look at the Rams, shifts, motions, eye candy, left and right. They do a good job of inserting their receivers. They're active in the blocking game, and they get dirty. And then obviously they're very explosive at the wide receiver position. You got to be careful with that. Really impressed with their runner Williams, hard runner. I had to check his bio because I thought he was about 250 the way he runs. Very physical runner. Defensively, looking at an athletic group. Over the last couple of weeks, really good on third down, attacking the quarterback, pressures. That D-line is probably setting the tone for them, and their linebackers are smart players as well.
Follow up to that, when you look at Matt Stafford, obviously being a veteran, what are some things about him that just makes him hard to, defend?
He can throw the ball from anywhere, everywhere, every angle, accurate, sees it, no-look passes. We go against Patrick Mahomes twice a year, and if you got a good warm-up for Patrick coming up in a couple of weeks, it's good to go up against a Matthew Stafford.
What's the message to the team after losing a guy like Davante?
Next man up, move on. He was out for the last 2 weeks, so we're fine.
Now that situation is over, is it kind of like a cloud is gone or relief?
No, just business as usual, and that's how we've been really operating the last couple of weeks.
I know you guys don't get better offensively by losing a guy like him, but what have been some of the positives from the pass catchers that you've seen the last couple of weeks without him in there?
DJ Turner, I think that's been really impressive for us. More Brock Bowers. I think that's been good. You saw Harrison Bryant as well show up. So I think just all these other guys who had a smaller role now understanding their role is bigger and whatever it is. Like I told them, hey, listen, man, you might only get 3 or 4 catches, but make the most out of them, right? You might get 2 or 3 deep balls down the field. Make the most out of them. You might only be coming to the game just to block. Be the best damn blocker. So everybody understand their role. You're never going to replace an all-pro receiver like Davante, but at the end of the day, we're not trying to. We're just trying to be the best versions of ourselves.
When you think about everything that Aiden's sort of gone through since last year, you bring him forward when you got the interim tag, and then he's the backup, now he's a starter. How has he grown mentally off the field to prepare for a situation like this and get sort of thrust into the fire?
Yeah, he didn't blink. When I brought him upstairs and told him, we're going with him again, and he looked and said, deja vu, huh? We're doing this again. So we both looked at each other and smiled. But like I said before, Aiden has really approached this entire season, from the offseason to training camp, like a pro. Even when he lost the battle early on, went out there, gave us the best look at scout team. I was always knowing that he was ready and prepared to go out there mentally. So it's just about getting him back in the groove. Something that, kind of stood out last week. I know we lost, but at halftime, he was one of the guys kind of getting the guys going at halftime. So it was good to hear him speak up and be more vocal.
An update on Jacoby and how his ankle's doing?
Yeah, Jacoby, he'll be out of practice today and hopefully get him back by the end of the week. We'll see, though.
Highly about how Divine played on Sunday a couple times already. It's a lot different from when we asked you about him before he got hurt. You said you needed a little more consistency. I know no one ever wants to miss time, but did he kind of maximize that, somehow get fresh, get his mind right to have a performance like he did on Sunday?
Yeah, I think sometimes when you step away from the game and you're watching from the sideline, you see what the coaches are seeing. And obviously he stands next to me and Mike Caldwell, linebacker coach, and there's a lot of coaching going on throughout the game and just things that we're talking about. And then when you get out there, what you saw was somebody else fresh, explosive. He was very physical. It was really good to see him compliment Robert Spillane, who's been really taking the lead for us in that role and making those plays. And listen, it's a damn shame that interception didn't count because he was on his way to having a hell of a game that day with tackles for loss, sacks, big hits. He was all over the place, and he's healthy and he's fresh and he's in the right mind space. So I'm looking forward to him this weekend as well.
With Tom Brady officially on board now as a part owner, just kind of curious your thoughts about what impact you think he might have. And I hear you have a little past with him too.
Yeah. Obviously, we go way back, obviously, from both being California guys and playing against each other in the preseason where we're backups. But I have the ultimate respect for Tom Brady. He's pro's pro. He's a grinder. His whole life has been hard and a challenge. I know we look at the end result and see the championships and the GOAT label, but he's worked his ass off. He's worked his ass off into this opportunity to be a minority owner with the Raiders. And I think it's a plus whenever you can get somebody that's been successful and has grinded and never is not a silver spoon person, right? So he understands it. He have ultimate respect from our coaching staff and players, obviously. But I'm really proud that he's within our organization and somebody I can, obviously talk to and bounce things off of as well.
Do you view the Davante trade at all as like a rebuild beginning with the team?
No.
I know you mentioned Jacoby trying to get healthy right now, but have you seen anything out of him to suggest he can take that role as the lead dog, the primary guy?
Jacoby? Oh man, listen, I'm excited about Jacoby. I've always been a fan of Jacoby from the day we I'll go back to when we scrimmaged the Patriots and he came in here. I'm like, man, who's this dude like diving in on the linebackers, blocking, the physicality, and then we got him here and just the ultimate team player. I think you've seen since he's been here, as a receiver, as a blocker, as a runner, as a thrower. I mean, you ask him to do anything, he'll do it for you. And he's the ultimate team player. He's quiet, soft-spoken, but he's a hard worker. Is he ready for that number one role? I'm not going to label him that, but I think he's always been one of the top receivers on our team, and now he's an opportunity to get more balls. Yes.
You know, Tom's in the building now. Antonio, you got a chance yet to show him the ring or remind him of that game?
No comment.
Are you guys planning on getting in pads at all this week? I know you didn't last week. Is that gonna be a change this week
To get in pads?
to hit? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Today we won't be in pads, and tomorrow we won't. We'll see how Friday goes and where our team is. Obviously, the most important thing is to get to Sunday healthy. And, you love to be physical, but let's be honest, the nature of the beast of this game is not that during the week. You want to save and have fresh bodies come Sunday. So we'll look at that later on in the week.
Two rookies, Trey Taylor and Cameron Richardson, obviously had some injury setbacks to start the year, but got some special teams action this weekend. How have you seen them approach these last couple of weeks as they ramp their intensity up, and how excited are you to get them in the mix moving forward?
Yeah, no, I thought with Trey Taylor, man, again, we was really excited about him back in the spring and then obviously in the summer, and then obviously injury held him up there. Same thing with DCam. But I thought last week on the special teams roles that they had, you saw the speed with DCam. I mean, he's flying down there at the gunner and the vice guy on our punt return. And Trey Taylor, just a physicality that he shows up. I mean, he's a pretty big safety when you really see him in pads again. It's been a while. But both guys, I just hope it keeps growing in that role on special teams, and at some point we can get him in on defense.
Gonna be practicing?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Okay. All right, guys.